Hey guys, let's talk about Newton's laws and how they affect you as young drivers. Newton's first law is related to inertia. It states a body will continue to move in the same direction at the same speed as long as there are no unbalanced forces acting on it. But how does this relate to driving?
Imagine, Mary was rushing to get to school on time and forgot to buckle her seatbelt. She was driving close behind a big truck. When the truck turns the corner, it slows down abruptly and Mary crashes into the truck. Because Mary's body was moving at the same velocity as the car, and there were no unbalanced forces acting on her, she would continue to move forward and get seriously injured. But thankfully, this morning, Mary did put her seatbelt on, and the seatbelt acted as an unbalanced force to bring her body to a stop with the car. The truck was also following Newton's first law. Because of its greater mass, it has more inertia, causing it to resist change. Changing speed and direction is more difficult, the more inertia, more room around the truck, because trucks don't make the same turns as cars.
Newton's second law of motion indicates if an unbalanced force acts on a body, the body will accelerate. Brr, it's getting cold out. Kelly needs to make sure to get his car ready for winter. In the ice and snow, Kelly's regular tires have less friction to accelerate the vehicle. With the added friction of the snow tires, Kelly has more control of the vehicle and he can accelerate the car forward, accelerate the car to a stop, and maintain a safe speed to make turns.
Finally, Newton's third law says, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Elton was speeding down the highway when he got distracted and crashed into a highway barrier. The car exhibited a large force crashing into the barrier, and the barrier exerts the same large force back onto the car, making the crash very dangerous and crushing the front of Elton's vehicle. The action of the crash caused an equal and opposite reaction from the barrier. Therefore, we are seeing more and more crash cushions along highways to reduce the reaction impact on the car. That's why all new cars are required to have airbags, because it lessens the impact of the reaction.
Newton's laws of motion can help us practice safe driving. We know that inertia will affect the motion of our vehicles, and the changing speed and direction all depends on Newton's first law of motion. When our bodies try to continue moving in the original velocity of a vehicle, our seatbelts act as an unbalanced force to bring our bodies to a stop with the car. Newton's second law demonstrates that if an unbalanced force acts on a body, the body will accelerate. So the force of our tires acting on the ground, and the ground is returning that force, causing our vehicles to accelerate. This is not possible without friction. Using snow tires in the winter increases the friction against ice, which is necessary for safe driving. Newton's third law demonstrates that with every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, meaning when the car crashes into a barrier, the barrier will exert the same amount of force back upon the car. This can cause a lot of damage to you and your car. The impact can be reduced with the airbags that are built in every modern vehicle, and also new cushions that are being put on highway barriers. Safety is the most important part of driving. It takes responsibility to remember the rules of the road and the ways we can stay safe for when you're a new driver learning to drive and going on into the future. When we are driving, be sure to remember Newton's laws of motion and how we can use these laws to practice safe driving. Good luck on the road.